All right, now we're going to talk about our new type that we're learning today that's called character. And for Java, it's char. Just like integer is int, so it's char. So what we're going to do instead is if you come into your calculator, instead of saying 1 addition 2 subtraction, we're going to say A, S, M, and B. So that way it kind of makes sense, right? We also need to come down to our switch statement. So we need to put in our A here. But for Java, you can't just put in a character without a single quote. So then that way it knows what to look out for. So action. Division. So just in the single quote or the apostrophe, if you will. So let's look back up here where it retrieves user's choice for menu option. So before we had it coming in as an int. It's no longer going to be an int, it's going to be word, so it's going to be a string. So I'm putting next line, and I'm going to change my int to string, because that's what it's going to be. Our next step is to get the character. So we put in AS, M, or D for addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. But what we are inputting here is a string, meaning that it's taking in possibly a full word. So we want to force it to take only the first character. So we're going to name our character CH. You can name that whatever you want. The variable does not matter. It's going to be equal to choice dot char at. And if you'll remember, whenever we're counting in Java, so remember back to like the very first section that we did where we counted in the indexing, the very first letter you input is at spot 0. So we want our first spot to be 0. All right, so we're going to pick that first letter that they enter. Most people will just enter the A, S, M, or D, but some people don't quite read the directions right, so we'll put this in for them and get that first character. But now our switch statement is no longer determined by choice, because that's just a random thing people are entering, but it's now determined by whatever CH is. So come down to line 36 and change your switch statement to start with CH. All right, so let's run our program and make sure it works. So let's first test our defaults. So ASM or D, I'm going to put it in an I. It's going to make me put in the number. All right, so my default does in fact work. So it's telling me to enter only 1, 2, 3, or 4. So now what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll actually test it entering something correct. So I'm going to put M for division or M for multiplication. Okay, so it's not happy because I put in lowercase. But before we go back and fix anything, we want to make sure that our program works right anyway. So I want you guys to get in the habit of kind of testing code as you write it, because that's going to clear up most of the bugs you're going to find whenever you are coding. So I'm going to run my code now, even though I know there's a problem with it, just to make sure the rest of it works okay. So I'm going to put in a capital M to 8.5. That is correct. So this does work for right now. So now we can go back and fix some of our problems that we have going on. So what we're going to do is for each line, we're going to set it the same line as our first case. We're going to put in our lower cases. So okay, that. And don't forget your colons afterward. Forget the colon, will definitely give you an error. So basically what we're doing here is we're saying that if someone enters a big A, there's no code right under that anymore. So what it's going to do is it's going to come down to the next line of code where it actually finds something and run that in its case, which is why we especially need the breaks now. So the break forces us out of the switch statement. So then if someone entered like a capital M, it's going to come down to capital M. There's no code right under capital M. So it's going to come down to this next line and actually do a multiplication for us. All right, so let's make sure that this runs correctly. So we haven't done an addition yet. So I'm going to put in an A here. All right, so it does work correctly now. So the whole point of doing the switch statement is sometimes it's a little bit more elegant and a little bit cleaner than using a bunch of if-else statements. So giving yourself a menu and giving your user a chance to operate. So what I want you to do is in your book, the first program that you're going to write, yes, I said first, is called Project Calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to change this program. So don't change it actually in here. What you're going to do is you're going to create a new class within your lesson 10. And you're going to name it something else. So like calculator 2, something along those lines. And what you're going to do is you're going to have your user input the actual words addition or add, subtract, multiply, divide instead of the character or the number selection. So you're still using this, you're just making a couple changes just like we did at the beginning of this video. You're going to answer some questions about lesson 10, and then you're going to use your switch statement to calculate weight on other planets, very real planets. Good luck!